So the Wii U and 3DS eShop will be shutting down very soon, less than a week from now, and it's pretty disappointing. It's pretty sad to see that Nintendo is shutting this down because a lot of games will be inaccessible to people, or at least very hard to get a hold of. So this is pretty bad for video game preservation, since even though they won't be lost, they will be hard to access, which has been an ongoing problem for Nintendo for a long time now. Like, ever since the Switch era started, and even kind of a little bit with the Wii U and 3DS era, when they kind of added less games than the Wii Virtual Console and didn't add GameCube games, and then now during the Switch, Switch Online is just kind of decent. Like, there isn't that much available compared to previous services. It's getting better, but you still don't own those games, and they will eventually be inaccessible, which is definitely still somewhat of a problem for game preservation. So it's pretty sad to see that Nintendo's yet again doing something that harms game preservation with them shutting down the shops and everything. But it does kind of make sense considering their perspective. And while I don't agree with this decision at all, it does kind of make sense from Nintendo's perspective because they probably want people to buy most of their games on the Switch. But the thing is, I feel like it's not really deterring that many people from buying games on the Switch, and I feel like they could have easily kept these shops open. Even the Wii could have been still running, and the DSi likely wouldn't have had a problem running today in 2023. I don't think Nintendo is really getting any harm from keeping these open. Like, I don't think they're losing much, because they already are making a lot of money already with the games on the Switch, so I don't really think they would be at a loss. So, yeah. But one thing that I've been seeing a lot lately, like over the past year, and even more now since they're closing very soon, is the amount of articles and videos about, like, buying certain games or rushing to buy games and different things. I did make a video last year about that, but that was actually before I got into modding with some of my consoles, but those games are worth buying if you do want to buy them. But yeah, so basically, there's like a lot of people that are rushing to buy these games, and I feel like that's not really the best decision. Like, even though it kind of makes sense, like, to buy all of these games now so they won't be completely inaccessible, I feel like this is really only throwing Nintendo money for kind of starting, like, a artificial fear of missing out here with this service shutting down. And I feel like this kind of benefits Nintendo for doing an action like this. And, like, people did the same thing with the Wii and the DSi when the shops were shutting down on there. And, like, the backlash to that wasn't as big as the amount of people, like, saying that this shouldn't be shut down, or that these games should be preserved. And I think that's kind of a problem. Like, more people are worried about getting these games before the eShop shuts down than actually speaking out against this and, like, actually expressing their concern for this. I know, like, a lot of people are. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, there are a lot of people that are, like, expressing their concerns about this, and I'm pretty sure everyone is concerned about this to some degree. I don't think anyone is defending this. I just think people seem to be more focused on getting the games before it shuts down, or accepting the fact that it shuts down. And I don't really think that's the best thing to do. Like, we really shouldn't be at this point. Like, in the best case scenario, Nintendo would have actually been keeping these shops open, as well as, like, the Wii shop and everything. And that's how it should be. Like, these shops shouldn't shut down. Like, it shouldn't be the norm that Nintendo shuts down the shop for the old system after 10 years. These older games should be accessible to everyone. And the fact that Nintendo is shutting this down without providing an alternative is very disappointing. It would be a different story if Nintendo actually did provide, like, most Wii U and 3DS games and WiiWare games on the Switch to some capacity. That's nearly impossible, but if they were to do that, then it wouldn't really be as much of a problem, because people would at least be able to purchase these games on other systems, rather than, like, only being able to purchase them on that one system. So, yeah, the fact that people are rushing to buy these games is really kind of ignoring the big problem here, and it really is just throwing Nintendo money for this and indirectly supporting them for this. And recently, the Completionist on that channel, they made a video about, like, purchasing all of the Wii U and 3DS eShop games, and I like that video. I like the message behind that video and everything, like with game preservation, and that's good that these games are being preserved and everything. But I feel like we shouldn't have to be at this point where people, like, it's down to, like, the gamers and everyone to preserve these games. That should be Nintendo's responsibility. Like, they should be the ones that are preserving these games, not us. However, it is good that these games still are available to some capacity, but they are only available to people who are willing to mod their consoles. And I know some people are against that, and some people don't want to mod their consoles, and I completely understand that. But personally, I think it's okay to mod your console at this point, because Nintendo isn't giving you the option to purchase these games anymore, and they're making it hard for you to access these games. So I don't really think it's necessarily a bad thing to mod your consoles. In fact, that's actually a good way to get access to these games, because since the eShop is shutting down and everything, like, a lot of these games will be inaccessible. But since every game on the eShop will be preserved and archived, like, it will actually still be possible to download these games or play these games on a modded console. And while I won't get into the details on how to do it, I do think it's good that, like, there's still, even though it's bad that Nintendo isn't going out to preserve these games, it's good that at least, like, these games are being preserved and are able to be played. So if you want to play a lot of these eShop games that will be inaccessible after March 27th, then, like, maybe consider modding your console, or, like, even emulating. Like, I don't think those are bad options if these games will be completely inaccessible. So yeah, anyways, it's pretty sad to see that these shops are shutting down, and I wish there was more backlash against it and more discussion about game preservation overall, and the fact that Nintendo should be more responsible for game preservation overall. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server if you want to. Goodbye.